Hi friends, it's Julie Golding Page, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in St. Stephen, New Brunswick, Canada, along the tidal Scudig or St. Croix River, the traditional territory and home of the Passamaquoddy. And I'm so grateful that they share this beautiful place with us. Today I'm here for Kit and Cuppa, and this is when I come alongside and hop on Facebook with a Kit, which I'll show you in a couple of minutes, and a Cuppa. So this is my cup of tea today. I hope you have a nice beverage to enjoy while you're watching the video today. And my goal for Kit and Cuppa is to show you a different kit pretty much every time. Sometimes I might use the same one twice if it's got really, really fantastic cards that I want to show you. But today we're going to be looking at the Confetti Birthday Cake, or Birthday Kit rather, not cake. I must be thinking about cake. It would go great with my tea. Anyhow, let me just switch my camera and I'll give you a little bit of today's Stampin' News, and then we'll get right into our project. Okay, so here is our kit, and I'll just give you a little sneak peek of what it's going to be. So this kit is really awesome because not only is it built for everybody from beginners through to avid crafters who've been doing this a long time, but it's a mini technique class all by itself, and an easy one because as you can see here, it's actually to make shaker cards. So these are really fantastic and impressive cards, and I hope you'll really enjoy this kit once we get into making one of the cards today. So please do tell me where you're watching from today, and if you've tried this kit or tried any of Stampin' Up's kits, I'd love to know what your favorites are. But before we get to that, I just wanted to show you how you can get hold of me on the internet. You can find me at www.juliescraftaddict.com. And when you shop with me, please use my host code, which I have here, and I'll have it also in the broadcast after I'm finished today. Because if you use this host code, I will send you the pieces to make this card of the month. I always have a card of the month, and I send you a little packet so you can make them all yourself. So that's the card that I'll be sending out. And if you'd like to register for a class, we have some classes coming up. So these classes have registrations that close on the weekend, on the 25th, which is Sunday. And this is the first one. This is the Boho Beach Kit class. So again, it's for beginners on up through avid crafters, and it's got this lovely beach theme. And that just looks really, really pretty. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that one looks like in person. I also have the Timeless Arrangements card class. This is a simple stamping class. So it is appropriate for people who've just maybe tried a kit and want to kind of take that next step. And also for avid crafters. It's just a nice relaxing time. Mostly it's about assembling the card. So this is one of our sample cards for that. And here is our other card. So this is from the Let's Go Shopping class. And as you can see, it's made of this really, really cool designer series paper, or DSP as we call it. And it's also part of the 15% off DSP sale that is on right now. So that is on through the end of June, the 30th. So if you want to get in on that sale, just go to www.juliescraftaddict.com. Pick up my code here, and you can order. I have ordering information right there on my website. And also, I have information about all the classes. Just click on online classes, and you'll be able to see all of that. And when you order with me or sign up for a class this month, I will be sending you a free DSP sampler. So just my way of thanking my customers, because I appreciate you all so much. But without further ado, let's get into our project. So here we go. Here's our instructions. So let's see what we need to do. First, I want to show you, in case you've never seen a kit from Stampin' Up! Before, it includes everything you need to complete the project. So you can see all of the little sequins that go in the shaker card. There's some tear and tape, which you can buy separately. It's a really great product. And there's a block in there. There is a stamp set to use on your cards. All the papers and envelopes, everything's pre-cut for you. And they even include all the adhesives here, and they include as well a Stampin' Spot. So let's get right to the project and we will start with one of these cards. I think we'll do this one today. How about this one? Let's Party, it says. So that will be card number 3. And they helpfully have this page included in their kit, instructions that shows all the pieces you need to gather for that particular card. So let's do that first. So you need this kind of blue piece, which is the brand new Blueberry Bushel. I really like that color. So there's your card base right there. And why don't we just fold that right now? And I'll use my bone folder. And these bone folders are great. I always recommend them for anybody who's just starting or who doesn't have one already. You can see I have my initials on this. I've had this for 20 some years now. And it works just as well as when I first got it. So you probably won't need to buy another one. But it's a great tool. Okay, so I need that green paper, which is the Lemon Lime Twist. That looks like it right there. And let's see what else we need to gather. Okay, so we need our tear and tape. Let's get that together as well. So our tear and tape is here. There it is. And let's see, it looks like we need a white circle. So let's see if we can find that as well. I'm just digging in my kit here to see where it might be. It looks like it might be a die cut. Aha, here we go. So here is a set of your die cuts. So you just punch it out there. And there we go. And I can see right now that we're going to be needing 3 of everything for this card kit, because there's 3 of each card for a total of 9 cards. But you can see there's 4 of each kind of label. So you actually have leftovers. And I like that they always include more than you actually need. So you always have something you can use later. And then we've got these little flower bits here. And those are actually referring to these sequins and so on that go in your shaker card. So that's what we're going to be using there. And then we need the Let's Party stamp. So let's dig that out as well. Just going to find the stamp set in the kit here. All right, here we go. So Let's Party is our stamp. And that's all we need for this one. They usually include extra stamps as well, so that not all the stamps are used in the card, and you can use them again later. All right, so let's put our stamp on our block here so it'll be all ready to go. And that's everything we need for the card. So let's go ahead and make this card. So the first thing they ask you to do is stamp. So that's what they mean by that. You open the Stampin' Spot. You take out your block and your stamp, and you stamp it onto that circular label. So let's do that first. And there's one more thing that we need out of the box, actually, and that is a piece of cardboard. So here is our piece of cardboard. This is not just kind of an extra thing in the box. We actually need it under these stamps. If you've never had these clear stamps before, they're called photopolymer. And they do not come, as you can see, with a cushion. And you need a cushion on your stamp so that the ink will transfer properly into the paper and give it something to press into. And so that's why we put this cardboard underneath. You can see it's just kind of a fairly thin cardboard, but it's got some substance to it. And the ones that come in the kits are just perfect for this. So there is our block and our stamp. And when you get a new photopolymer stamp like this, it's good to condition the stamp first. If you don't do this first, the coating that is on the stamp, that when it comes from the factory, will stay on the stamp, and it will keep the ink from transferring properly to the stamp and then to your paper. So you can just use the oils in your fingers, your hands, to get that coating off. And then you can give it a try. I always suggest that you give it a try before you actually stamp on your project. And so I have a fix for this. If it doesn't work as well the first time, we've got a fix, and I'll show you what that is. So I'm just grabbing my ink here. As I mentioned, you get your little Stampin' Spot right in your kit. So you've got everything you need in your kit. So you could take your kit with you to your vacation, to the cottage, like I like to do, to the cafe, even on a plane, because you've got everything you need right in the little box there. But I actually prefer to use the full-sized ink pads, and so I'm going to dig mine out here. and get it ready to go. So I've conditioned this pretty thoroughly with my fingertips. Let's see if that's enough. And if it isn't, we will do a fix here because there's a fix for that. So let's press it down, and I suggest even pressure and keep it down right on the paper so that it has several seconds for the ink to transfer. Okay. Oh, hi, Linda. It's great you could watch today. So that actually did a pretty good job, didn't it? Yeah, not bad at all. But I will show you the fix just in case you're having trouble with one of your stamps. It's a really inexpensive fix as well. All you need is a particular ink pad that will work for this. So if you're trying your stamps and the conditioning's not working, what you need is to get a Versamark pad. So Versamark is available from Stampin' Up. I believe it's $13. Don't quote me on that, but I think so. And this is a watermark stamp pad. Oh, hi, Colette. Welcome. And what you do is you just put your stamp into this invisible ink, which can also be used for embossing and lots of things. So you just coat it up really nicely so that it's on your stamp. Then you can ink it up really well and then stamp. And so if you're having trouble with brand new photopolymer stamps, that's the fix. It will enable you to get a better image than you were getting before. Okay, so that's the fix that I would suggest. And again, this is called Versamark, and it's a watermark stamp pad. So it's a really, really useful thing to have around. If you can't find it on the website, just let me know, and I'd be happy to point you in the right direction there. Okay, so let's go ahead and we will stamp on our circle now that we know our stamp is working really well. I just wanted to make sure that we went over that because I remember the first time I had these clear photopolymer stamps, I thought they didn't work. I thought they were no good or bad quality or whatever because I couldn't get a good image, and I didn't realize that you have to actually condition them before you use them. And I'm not sure if they actually say that in the kit. I don't think they do, but it's a really, really helpful thing to know. Okay, so let's have a look at that. How'd that turn out? That looks pretty good, doesn't it? Yeah, that's really good. Linda says, need to try Versamark. Yeah, Versamark actually solves a multitude of those kind of problems because it can be very, I don't know, very, very tricky to get a good image on some stamps, especially if they have a lot of area to cover and a lot of solid area to cover. I just find it's much easier to simply stamp them in the Versamark at the beginning, and then everything turns out much better than it does otherwise. So here's another stamp that would really benefit from that, because you can see there's a fairly large solid area and several more down the candle here. And I think that Versamark would make that a much more even image. It also has to do with even pressure. So you don't want to kind of rock when you're stamping unless you want a certain kind of technique with it. But you want to go straight down, hold it there for several seconds, because if you just stamp and bring it up, that's not enough time for the ink to transfer to the paper. So you just hold it down and count to 6 or 8 maybe, and then pull it up directly again. So it takes a little bit of practice to get the hang of it. And I always suggest when you're doing a project, and I do this myself, that you always do exactly what I did here, and that is try it out on scrap first. I pretty much never stamp directly on my project before I've tried it out to make sure my ink is acting the way I think it should, because some ink pads are juicy and some are not. Some it's better to just tap once if they're super juicy. If they're starting to run out of ink a little, you might have to tap them several times over. And so it's just worth kind of experimenting on your paper rather than risk ruining your little label here. But of course, you can always flip it over. It wouldn't have that silver holographic effect to it, but you'd still have a lovely circle to work with. So there's usually a fix that you can apply to this. That's one of the things I like about paper crafting is it's almost never game over. You almost always have another option. So that's really good. It's quite forgiving. All right, so we did our stamping. Let's move our ink pad out of the way. And let's do step number 2. So step number 2, we are going to looks like we are going to open that up and put a piece of paper in there. Do you rub stamp before using Versamark? Yes, I do. I try it out to see how it's going to turn out, just like I did here. I rubbed it with my fingers first, and then I Versamarked it after. If you're happy with how it was in the beginning, you don't have to do the Versamark as well. It's just kind of a fix in case you need it. So yeah, I would always try to kind of condition with my fingertips first and then go on. But if you want to just skip that step and go directly to Versamark, you could also do it that way. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer for that one. All right, so we need our little bag here. So let's see. So we need one of these clear sleeves here. And what they're doing there is they're putting the paper into the sleeve. So the paper that they're putting in is this one. So it's white on one side and green on the other. So let's see. We want it to be like that. And then they're going to pour all those little sequin things in there. And you could use whatever you want in there, really. But they provided some really nice ones, actually. So I'm just going to shake these up so we get them mixed, because mine are kind of all in a big heap. All the same ones over and over again. So I want these mixed a bit. So I'm just going to do that. All right. Let's see how that works. Yeah, that's a pretty good mix. That's much more mixed than they were. Now, the only trick with this is to make sure that you save enough. Because we want to use these in 9 cards. So just make sure you don't have too many in there. Okay, that might even be too many. Yeah, I think that might be too many. So I'm going to put a few back. You could actually parcel these out in advance and just kind of do all the cards at once so you can see how many you need. I think that'll be quite adequate though right there. That looks pretty good. Okay, and let's get them stuck in there so that they do not come out when we shake the card. That's kind of a key point. It sounds obvious, but I have made shaker cards before and forgotten to kind of close the opening. Well, that's not a good idea. So let's close it up really well. Okay, so here's our shaker bit. That's great. And now we need our card base. Here's our card base, yep. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna use our tear and tape to put this onto our card base right there. So our tear and tape is exactly like it says. You tear the tape. So it's really simple to use once you find the end there. So it's a double-sided tape, but there's a coating on the upper side. So this part's sticky and this part is not sticky right now. So we're gonna just put tear and tape on. We're just going to rip it at the end. It rips really easily. I really like this product. It's very nice. And they've given you a pretty generous amount of it. Here's my one that I got from Stampin' Up, which I've used some of. But you can see you get quite a bunch of it. And it's a really nice one. Okay, so I've got those two on. So let's stick that onto our card base. So this is a super simple way to make a shaker card and impress your friends and relatives, that's for sure. You can make them in quite a complex way, but this way is simple, it's easy, it's quick, and I will show you how you can get some little bags like this from Stampin' Up, because they actually have a product like this. So I will show you those after we finish. So here's our Let's Party. Oh, hi Kathy, wonderful you could come and join us today. All right, and they just put that in the middle. You could put it up toward the top or the bottom, wherever you want. I think I'll put mine up kind of closer to the top. And they used, I'll show you how to interpret this. So they used these things that they look like little hexagons. Those are the Stampin' Dimensionals. And you can buy them separately as well. They're in this little bag here. You get 300 of them for $6. So they're a nice deal. And they are wonderful little things. I really like them. I've been using them for many years, and they're one of the things that first sold me actually on Stampin' Up. It wasn't the stamps and everything as much as I like them. It is they're wonderful adhesives because they don't all dry out on you, and they stick really well. I just really like them. They're very easy to use. I don't find the backings hard to get off like some can be, and I'm just a fan, that's for sure. All right, let's try to get that sort of straight on there. Okay, so there is our little shaker card. How cool is that? And if without all the explanation time, you could do that in just a couple of minutes, and you could actually finish the whole kit before very long. So there's your card. You've got lots of room for a message. And let me just grab those little bags so you can see how you could do this on a card with the bags that they have. You'd have to have a slightly bigger card, I think, but let me show you. So, let's see, where did I put those? Okay, here they are. So Stampin' Up! Has this product called clear medium envelopes, which are just the same as what we have here, only bigger. So you can see these ones are bigger. And if these are too big for you, you could cut it to size and then just fold it over and use tear and tape or some other kind of tape to secure it on the back. So you can make them whatever size you want. And these lovely little envelopes, I find them so useful because they're great for keeping your cards in good shape. So actually not that one. Where did my other one go? Okay, so here's, well, I'll just use this one. So I'll just put this card in here, and you can see how nicely they fit. You can fold that over and seal it, or just kind of fold it and tuck it in. And it's a great way to keep your cards in good shape while you hang on to them for creative possibilities, or if you're giving them away to someone. And these clear medium envelopes, you get 50 of them at a shot. So they're a really economical choice as well, and they're just really, really nice for keeping your cards well. And you could also use them to make shaker cards. So there you go. So that is the end of our demonstration for today. Thank you again for coming and watching Kit and Cuppa. And I hope that you have a wonderfully crafty weekend. Bye for now, friends.